Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I'm one of your hosts, Jack Nedley Thompson. As always and as usual, I'm joined by my platonic husband, Kristian Lasham.
I would just like to publicly thank you for bringing me chicken.
You are welcome.
It's probably the best thing that's happened to me today.
You are welcome. I got my food and I was like, do I get a side? Because like that for myself, that'll be a bit much. And I was like, but what if it wasn't for myself? It's just for myself.
It's really appreciated.
And that is how I justified buying chicken.
That's if you can use me to justify buying chicken as much as you want. If you ever think to yourself, I need to buy some chicken, but it'll be too much just for me, just bring the chicken here. Just come over, have the chicken here.
It's fair. It's fair.
I'm always happy
to go through the flavours.
I'm always happy to share chicken with you.
Go through the flavours.
Yeah.
And the guy there, it was very funny. I was like, I'll have the chicken strips. He was like, what flavour? I was like, what are the flavours? It was just like flavoured or plain. Huh? What?
The what flavour? What are my flavour options, sir?
Like most scenarios, I'll probably take flavoured over plain. But if you turn around and be like, oh yeah, no, it's spit cum vomit flavour.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm gonna go plain.
Yeah. Would you like your chicken to taste plain like chicken, or would you like it to taste like pre-cum? I don't know.
Who wants to eat plain chicken?
Oh, it's one of those days. Sorry, everyone.
We haven't been in the same room in 2 days.
Oh, fucking hell.
So there's all this build-up and energy, you know?
Yeah.
We are here to talk about Age of Ultron, released, I've lost the date, the 23rd of April 2015, with a budget of $250 million and a worldwide gross of $1,405,018,048.
That's a lot of dollars.
Many of them. What are your general thoughts on Age of Ultron?
In this film, Tony Stark calls Captain America a nonce, and I'm here for it. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He does. Captain America walks into the room, and he says, I'm only going to say this once, and Tony Stark says, how about nonce? And you know what? If you think about it, Captain America probably was. In some ways. Because Sharon Carter...
Was it in 30s?
Yeah, but like as far as he's concerned, like he's like 90 odd, 100 odd or whatever. And it's like, isn't it like Peggy's...
That's not what that
isn't
word
it like
means.
Peggy's niece or something?
Yeah.
And then we have a theory based off the later movies that Peggy's husband that she tells about is Steve Rogers, because obviously later on we know he goes back in time, future spoilers, and lives out a life of thing. So basically, Sharon Carter is literally his niece, right? And then he's like, oh, I'll be all over him.
Hey, if you want to follow the timeline, Thin Ice. No. Well, I don't understand. But,
I don't know.
No time. It's not yet.
What's not yet?
For him.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It's not yet for him.
Yet.
All right, fair enough. Fair point. He doesn't know.
She should fucking know, though.
Yeah.
Surely.
Like, oh, you're right, Uncle Steve.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the first time.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Maybe this is one of those, what do they call it, a nexus point.
Yeah.
Where they're like, the universe collapses if she doesn't fuck her uncle.
So Tony Stark was right.
Also, none of those things mean...
I know. I'm stretching. I'm really stretching.
But no, he says nunts.
He says nunts, I know. But it's funny. It is funny. And I've never heard it before.
I've also never watched this movie with subtitles, and now I'm curious.
Oh, it might be worth doing that in a minute.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie a lot of times.
Yeah, same.
I've never noticed it until I was watching it the other night.
I've never thought about the spelling of it. No.
And as soon as he said it, I just was like, ha! And I just went off on one.
What is up with me today is the fact that not only did I get back late last night because I went to go see Ant-Man, I was also up really fucking early this morning because I watched this movie before work. And it's a long movie. Let's just say I started it at about 6:30.
It's fucking real dedication. Like, I'm also tired.
And this is what happens.
Yeah, I'm also tired, but for different reasons. But also, you know, you got to poke fun at these things. Got to see the funny side. You know, a little bit of jovial banter, if you will. I don't actually think Captain America, like, is a paedophile. Just want to clarify that. I don't think that's true. Just saying. Want to make sure we're clear.
No, I know I don't do mornings, but my age nearly begins with a 3, and therefore I had to get up for a piss.
Yeah, that starts to happen.
So I was like, I'm up now.
Yeah.
It was kind of like late enough where it was just like, well, there's no real point. Obviously, on a day off, I would have gone back to sleep. But
Yeah, fair. Because then you can stay to bed like 11 or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or 3. I don't do that anymore.
Anyway, I didn't answer your question seriously. I have always said, and I continue to stand by this, I really like this movie.
So do I. Yep.
I really like this movie. I think there's a lot of really good stuff in it. I do think there's a couple of slow bits in the middle, but it doesn't matter. It's not so slow where it's a problem. I think this movie's been slept on by a lot of people.
Agreed.
I think it's some great moments, and we've said it on the show before, and I stand by it today. This is Hawkeye's movie. Mm-hmm. Hawkeye in this is brilliant. He's the fucking standout character in this in so many ways.
The pivot point,
yeah,
I think. And
I think it's really good, really clever writing actually to do that and sort of bring Hawkeye in and make him a bit more crucial to the plot. Well, not to the plot, but to the team and bringing it all together. And I think it's really important. And I really like this movie. There's some really, really good stuff in it. Good times were had by me watching it. Also, not even in IMAX, but still looked spectacular.
was it not?
No.
I swear it said it was.
But looked spectacular nonetheless. There's some real pretty stuff in this.
I swear it said it was IMAX.
Well, it wasn't IMAX, like, you know, aspect ratio.
Yeah, I think it's IMAX enhanced.
Yeah.
Be warned if you do go and watch Ant-Man.
Oh, I'm assuming that's going to happen, yeah.
There was one time where they...
Because it is the point. He shrinks and he grows. I don't know what you...
But there was one time, not really a spoiler, but there was one time where they used it intentionally, clearly, because it was quite
I'm okay
cool.
with that.
Yeah, they used it, they did it intentionally.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's not really a spoiler, but he gets big, and as he's growing, the screen expands.
Right.
So I think that was a jolly good use of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that.
Otherwise,
if it's used in a way that's to enhance what's happening, fine.
Well, especially because I was on an IMAX screen, and therefore the black bars are about 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
I will never know because the internet hates me. And also, why did I think it would tell me on the phone?
Don't know. Did wonder what you were doing.
But that was particularly stupid because obviously it's not going to tell me on the... Oh, no, it will. Okay, Age of Ultron wasn't IMAX enhanced.
Yeah.
I know this is Infinity War,
Got you.
so Age of Ultron wasn't IMAX enhanced.
Anyway, Hannah says there in the chat, and I believe she's talking about Age of Ultron here, because I would agree, the opening, it's fucking great.
It is cool.
And again, a real smart decision. One of the standout bits of Avengers is the one shot. Mm-hmm. So opening this movie with one, I think was just a really good idea. And it's not just also, oh, here's a good one shot. It's like them really working as a team really well. And I like that the first opening of this movie is them, it's establishing, is like, right, yeah, these guys now have worked together a couple of times. They've been doing this a while, and you can see it in the way that they're working together. And they've got some banter together, but they're getting the job done. And they're all on the same page. And it works really well. There's some really great stuff. Really good stuff.
I think this entire, not even just the one shot, just this entire scene I think is really cool. Mm-hmm. Has some really great like teamwork bit. This is the first time we get them utilising the Thor smacking
the shield. Yep.
And using the ricochet twang, as it were. Chef kiss of a sound as well. Mm-hmm. And obviously that one shot is cool as hell. And then you get that
slow-mo side angle.
All moving all going from character to character, and then they emerge for that jump across like the little ditch thing. And, it's cool as shit. It's cool as shit.
It is real fucking cool. It's real cool.
Yeah. And then you get the can somebody take care of that bunker, please? And then
Thank you. There's so much it does here though, because it's actually a really important scene, because it starts to set up the relationship with Hulk and Nat, which we haven't really had before, but they now spend some time on that in a way that makes sense as well. It's not done in a way it's, all right, these guys have got a thing going on. Like, you can kind of see it building, and it's like, okay, I buy it, I do buy it. You've got the friendship growing between them, the fact that the way that everyone rallies around as soon as they, like, Barton's been hit, and they're all like, okay, well, then we're going to deal with that. Like, that's now the priority sort of thing. Let's get him looked after. And everyone is, like, when they're back on the Quinjet and taking it back, like, everyone is worried about him, and they're worried about Barton and stuff. And I also think it's really important here, you're actually seeing, I think throughout a big chunk of this movie, even though they're bickering, like, a kinship with Cap and Stark. There is elements of it, just the banter with them together and stuff like that. It's just showing there's a friendship there, and there is a level of mutual respect, even if they don't necessarily always agree with each other, which I think is really important for the later movies, because of course we know what happens in the coming ones.
We do,
but that's really important that they had this stuff here.
Yep. No.
That there is a mutual level of respect there, and they do genuinely actually care for each other.
Yeah, I don't think Civil War works without this. It just doesn't.
Totally
and
agree.
therefore, Infinity War and all that kind of stuff, it just doesn't work without the relationship building between this one. I do enjoy the fact that the first word of the movie is shit.
Yes.
Just shit.
I like all of the crap. It's crap humor, but I like all of it in this opening scene. Like the thugs, and they're just like, it's like, oh, so it's the Avengers. It's like, can we hold them? It's the Avengers. Like, it's really good stuff.
No surrender. I am going to surrender. It's great, and this is why I always have, like, this is the one thing that I always pick up on, and I'm just like, you clearly don't understand. With, like, sacred symbols and stuff, is when they're always called, it's like Marvel style writing, and it's like, it's not, because you can have this type of humor done well, or you can have this type of humor done badly, and I think the badly entirely depends on delivery for one, but also, like, the character of who's delivering it. I bring out my main argument against the Marvel style is they always bring up Spider-Man for being annoying and crass. I'm like, that's his entire thing.
Yes, he also he's doing it
on purpose.
Yes, yeah, he's doing it ironically.
Yes, he is doing it to be annoying. He wants to rile up the people he's fighting and piss them off. I
remember tweeting about it when people were talking about the Forspoken writing.
Yes,
someone had, like, saying, "Oh, I don't like." I had tweeted out a section of the Spider-Man script, and he was saying, "Oh, I've read like 2 pages of the script, and I've already seen pretty much the exact same dialogue you're complaining about in Forspoken. What's the difference?" And I quoted, I was like, "The difference is Spider-Man is saying this ironically. It's intentional, contextually within the medium that he knows it's cheesy. He knows it's cheesy, and he's saying it ironically. Forspoken,
they're trying to be cool.
They're trying to be funny and clever. Yeah. It's not being done." It's being said completely unironically, as if this is how this person actually talks, and then that doesn't work because it's not real.
Yeah, and the way you can tell that is that that's not how Peter Parker speaks.
Yes.
That's how Spider-Man speaks, to piss people off intentionally. But yeah, and I think it's kind of the same here. It's like, it's kind of what Tony Stark and Iron Man is as well. He's like, you think he's cool, but also it's the delivery and the context, and I think it works way better from him. And we've got in later movies, it doesn't work that well with Thor. Yeah, like we've seen that now. It's entirely contextual, and I do agree that the Thor Love and Thunder and sort of dialogue was a bit shit, and it was a bit crap because it doesn't work in that context.
But then there's also Ragnarok shows it does
work. Yeah. So it's entirely contextual, and I think on both sides you can't just bog it down to cheesy nonsense dialogue. We can't bog Forspoken down, but you can't also then defend that dialogue by pointing out Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it doesn't. You can't do it either way. But either way,
it's that kind of what about argument. It's like that you can't just.
Well, you can't. I do disagree with that whataboutism argument isn't relevant, because I do think it is.
It can be.
In most cases,
yeah, it can be.
It's just like people who shoot down the but you're complaining about complaining about Hogwarts Legacy on Twitter, and they're like, you can't make whataboutism argument is lazy. I'm like, no,
It's a different type of whataboutism.
yeah, and it's just like, no, it's not lazy. It's fucking perfectly adequate. But anyway, the opening is really cool.
Good talk, guys. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Please be a secret door. Please be a secret door. Yay!
It's really good.
I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Go on.
As a movie and sit down and enjoyable experience, it's better than the first one.
No, I kind of agree with you. I do. I think they up the ante on everything. The action scenes get bigger. The stakes get. I think the stakes are actually bigger.
The stakes are higher, just objectively.
Yeah.
I think the characters have a better. The characters obviously just with passage of time.
Yeah.
Have a better relationship with each other. There's a lot more teamwork going on, and there's less of this slow roll intro.
You also get
the action scenes are better, and the villain's better.
The villain's
I
better.
think Ultron. Probably joint first for my favorite
Ultron
villain out of
is
the entire thing, and I really want them to find some bullshit way to bring him back.
James Spader as Ultron is outstanding.
Yeah, James Spader is outstanding.
So many elements of Ultron
His
in this,
voice.
which is great.
His voice alone can make me.
I like how humanized he is.
Little people, children. I lost the word there.
But I love it, and I love how he gets angry. Like he gets angry as like emotional reactions, which is a human thing. Like, and obviously it's an AI, but it's not. It's an AI with human reactions, and that's really important. The thing when he's talking to fucking
Claw
Gollum, yeah,
chops his arm off.
yeah, and it's an emotional thing. He refers to he compares him to Stark, and it pisses him off, and he reacts to it. And I think that's really good, and it's just a really compelling performance to watch.
Yeah, I think like the interactions between Stark, Ultron, and then later Vision as well. I think are some of the best in the entire MCU. I love the he's going to come for me first. I was like, that's true. He hates you the most, and clearly you've never made an omelette. He beat me by 1 second. I think all of that is so fucking good in this movie. This is the beginning of the decline of the Eastern European accent in the MCU. It starts strong, and then just over time.
Well, you've got
over the course of these movies.
Wanda is going hard on this one with her accent.
Yes, but give it a movie and a half, and she'll be American.
Yes, very American.
Yeah.
It should be more American than I think she actually sounds.
Yeah, it is weird, and I kind of think it is. There's no reason for it other than laziness.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I imagine doing a film with a not your accent is fucking exhausting, but still, I think it would have gone better if you just didn't do one in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And yeah, it's, doubling down on the Ultron stuff, I think he's such an interesting villain as well because of where he's coming from, where his origin is, and what it means for the team and the stakes. And he is just compelling to watch throughout, and you sort of get why he's a threat and why they are instantly scared of him as well. Mm-hmm. Like when he first fucking appears, not even as full Ultron, just as that weird robot thing, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And it's
fucking creepy.
It is the way he crawls out, like stumbles out of that room, just oil leaking out of him. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I love how quickly they kick into gear though in that scene. Like they just see him all prepping. Like at some point, shit's about to kick off.
And then as soon as they burst out, Cap's kick that table up. I was like,
I wish I was that table.
Yeah, right? Oh, Christ. This is a particularly homoerotic episode. But I don't know if you remember the first couple of trailers for this movie. Because they really leaned in on the terror,
I remember
terror aspect.
One of the trailer having a
Ultron.
really creepy version of the Pinocchio song.
thing,
Yeah.
And it gave off this general vibe, and I kind of feel like these trailers are actually what doomed the movie from general perception, because they gave this really dark, almost like horror thriller vibe to the movie, and none of the trailers ever really led into how much of a standard Marvel comedy affair it is, but I do wish we got this dark,
That would have been cool.
like properly dark. Age of Ultron, as it would be in reality.
I don't think we'll ever see the MCU go really dark.
No, neither do I. I don't think that now, but obviously that was a very real possibility at the time. Now, I think this was one of the first ones now that makes people just go, well, we don't really trust the trailers, and they might not be allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, which I have umbrage with, but that's a different
so do I. Yeah. I like the fact that they put fake shots in the trailers.
I think for something like the MCU, you have to in certain areas, because if they hadn't have done for Endgame, all of Endgame would have been spoiled.
Yeah.
Like, or you just can't then fucking show any of the film, so like, it's tricky.
I think you just take it at that point. You just have to take a completely different approach. And
I mean, what you shouldn't do is take the Fast 10 approach and make a trailer that's longer than the movie.
that was the most insane thing of it. Like,
Because it kept going.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
know.
just keeps going.
And have you heard all of these things where, like, the director is talking about, like, Paul being in the movie?
No?
I'm like, well, he's not.
He's,
though, is
he's
he?
definitely not in it. No,
I was like, well, he's not. Even if you, like, do some weird CG thing, he's not in the movie unless you're doing some dodgy shit. Like, criminal activity. What's it called? What do you... Exhuming.
yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
was gonna make
But
a really bad
yeah,
joke.
he seems to have teased... And it was just like the Walker family is still very much part of this thing, as you'll see when the thing's coming up and when the movie comes out and all this stuff. It sounds like they're getting his brothers back.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's what I said as a joke the other week,
Yeah,
but it was only
I
a
know,
semi-joke.
But also, like, it wasn't long enough ago
No, I agree.
to justify.
I don't think you
it's
need.
sort
I don't
of-
think you should ever do it.
No,
Given the nature of the circumstance, don't do it.
Yeah, I know. And I don't like this thing where it's just like his family can give away the rights to do that.
I
It's like,
know, yeah.
No. The only person who should be allowed to give away the rights to their face in this scenario is dead.
Yes.
Therefore, no one has the rights to bring him back to life for a movie. It's a movie, for fuck's sake. And did you see that Vin Diesel... Well, we've gone on a tangent. Vin Diesel
Us?
compared to Fast and Furious to Lord of the Rings.
Yes, but we know Vin Diesel's an idiot.
Don't get me wrong, and we have both said this on the show. We like the Fast.
Oh
and
yeah.
Furious
I'm
movies.
really looking forward to Fast 10.
Yeah, so am I. I'm disappointed it's not called Fast 10 Your Seatbelts, as
Yes,
the
it's-
internet made me hope.
Yes, because it's the obvious name.
Yes. But Fast X, go fuck yourself. Like Vin, bend over, fuck yourself.
I did see a thing where The Rock has now said he would come back.
Will he? Because his big passion project over the last 15
Has
years
gone
was
to shit,
was
yes.
a fucking failure, and everyone's just gone, why was this your thing? And he got into a load of shit because he literally lied about investor calls and money, and so, and he got into a huge amount of shit because then the actual box office numbers came out. It's like, yeah, you didn't make any fucking money, mate. Like, and you got like a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, Age of Ultron, James Spader is fucking fantastic, and this is the only... How is it not fast? I think the delay is strong.
No, I think she's agreeing with you.
us. Oh yeah.
I think she's being agreeable.
Yeah, fair. In which case, I agree
It's
with
very,
your agreement.
it is very hard, by the way, sometimes to decipher the text because it comes in at different times.
Comes in at different intervals.
So it's very difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm with you.
This is the only Avengers villain that doesn't have like a build up or multiple appearances or what have you. It's just like a one and done, and I don't like it because I want more. James Spader is phenomenal in everything, but also just in this because I mean, he's so good. I think he's funny, but he's also terrifying, and as you said, he's really human in the fact that he's an android, big old robot. It's just so good. And then he builds Vision, who's also cool as fuck because they put Jarvis in him, and I think that was such a clever way of doing it.
They also got so fucking lucky with the way that fell for them, that they went, okay, we're going to hire Paul Bettany to do a bit role in an Iron Man movie, essentially.
But I think Paul Bettany is lucky.
Well,
more than
yeah,
anything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But like the fact that worked out, that as it went on, it's like not only is he good for this, but we're gonna turn Jarvis into a much more prominent character with a body and a being. That's a different character. It's not Jarvis. He's not playing Jarvis now. It's a different character. And it turns out Paul Bettany is still pretty much the perfect person to play that role. And it's just...
Could you imagine anyone else trying to be Vision?
No.
No one people talk about the perfect Marvel castings, no one ever talks about Paul Bettany, and I think he's like up there with like all of them.
I personally convinced all of the MCU casting is pretty much excellent. I can't see anyone else in these roles personally.
Maybe more recent ones are a bit hit and just. In the comics, does Jarvis not become Vision? In the comics, Jarvis is a person. Jarvis is an actual butler in the comics. He's only become an AI since Iron Man 1 came out. But before that, he was a person.
Yeah, there's a reference to him in one of the later films where
he's based. So the butler does exist in the MCU. But it's his dad's butler. Yeah, and so Tony calls him Jarvis based off of him. But the AI is a movie thing.
Yeah, and yeah, I think Paul Bettany stays phenomenal going forward now. But he's great in this, and I love the way they use it. See, this is where they do some really clever writing in this film as well. So obviously you got the early part of the film when they're all partying together, and there's some great stuff going on there as well with them bonding. There's fucking
that party scene is one of the best scenes in the entire MCU.
It's so much. There's so much good stuff in there. Yep. I love Stark and Thor just sort of being like arguing about Pepper and Jane. Just that little thing. I just really enjoy that. Just but Jane's better.
But Jane's better. I was like, boom! You're looking for this? Was that the whole story? Oh, then it's very good.
And then a little bit later on, he's telling it to other people. You just see him repeat the punchline, and everyone laughs. He's just like, yeah.
But he's like nodding along in agreement, and then just go, yeah. fuck Thor.
It's so good. And then obviously we get the thing of them all sitting around just chilling together, talking about Thor's hammer. And again, there's some great stuff here, just because there's banter to it, like. Hawkeye, what's the joke he's saying, like he who is mighty, whatever, and just taking the piss, and
Tony's just like he whoever has Thor's fingerprints shall be worthy. Yeah,
I think it's so good that it's just showing them like not only being a team but like bonding and having a friendship. I think it's really important, and I think it is so important for later. But it's so good here to get it, and then obviously the whole setup of them trying to lift the hammer becomes relevant at 2 points now, because obviously it's relevant later in the film when Vision picks it up, and that's why everyone will then just trust him. Like they don't trust him because why would they? And then because he can wield Mjolnir, we trust him then. And it's just that instant. They don't even say anything. They're just like, okay,
right then.
And they're all just like, cool. But obviously you get the thing with Cap.
Yeah,
and the hammer.
He can blatantly move it, and he knows he can. It wasn't just a case of it wobbled. It's like he stopped.
Yeah, I know. It's always been like a thing in the back of my mind. I've said it for years before even Endgame came out. Of like, again, spoilers for Endgame. Like that maybe he can actually wield it. But this is the first time I've watched Ultron since Endgame, and it's like, oh yeah,
he can move it. He just didn't want to.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I can move that. I'm not going to.
Yeah, he didn't want to hurt Thor's feelings.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, no, I agree. That's exactly what I think. And then Nat's just like, that's not a question I need answered.
What?
When they try to get Nat, that is not a question that I need answered. But no, I like the. Are you even pulling? Pulling, just represent. Pull.
Hulk.
No. Oh, okay. Oh god, yeah, that fucking. I gasped. I was just like in the cinema. I was like, "Oh shit!" When Vision was just like, "We need to go," and then handed him the hammer. That was really another good bit of you would have been groped if we'd seen it together.
But, it's really good, and again, let's see. I think some of the stuff here they're doing with like Nat and Banner flirting. To me, it makes sense. I buy it. I do buy their relationship. I see it, and that there's a thing going on there, and I think that's really good. And obviously then just kicks off into the main plot, which is just carnage from there. But as I said at the top of this, Hawkeye, this is Hawkeye's movie. They do so much with him in this movie, and I think it's so good. And Hawkeye will remain. I think I've said this before. He's one of my favorite Avengers characters.
Yeah, same.
I think I've said that before. And he will remain it, which is why, by the way,
think he has the best show as well.
Oh yeah, and it's why, by the way, I was so traumatized at the news of Jeremy Renner.
Oh yeah,
and I'm glad that he seems to be, from what we've heard, doing well
and not losing legs.
Because I saw that both Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd mentioned that they had seen him recently and that he's doing really well and he's in really good spirits and whatnot.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, so they were asked about in interviews and they said, yeah, we both went to we've been to his house recently, we've seen him and he's in a wheelchair, but he's doing well and he's in really good spirits and he's hosting events and he's happy. And it seems like he's going to do well, make a recovery, which is good because hopefully that means we get more Hawkeye. Because I know they're writing that character out. It's clear they're doing...
I don't necessarily know they're writing it. Well, they're pulling him back, definitely. Hannah says, I was annoyed all the way through this film because I kept remembering nothing comes of Nat and Bruce, but then I remembered that he fucked off to Sakaar and that would probably kill any chances of romance. Yeah.
I think
distance doesn't work at the best of times, but when you can't even talk...
But I think it also does do a lot for Hulk in later movies still.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I think this relationship is incredibly important to Ragnarok.
And I think it's really important to Infinity War and Endgame.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So, which we'll discuss more when we get to those movies. But yeah, Hawkeye in this. So some of the stuff they do, obviously, there's some early subtle setups. Obviously, he gets hurt, and then like the doctor says to him, "Is like, oh, even your own girlfriend won't recognize you, or won't be able to tell the difference." Yeah. And then later on, you just see him on the phone. They're like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh, his girlfriend." Yeah. And it's all like, what's going on here? What are they building? Because, yeah, and then later on, when you get that kind of like. It goes to shit against Ultron and Wanda. Mm-hmm. And that's a great fucking scene as well, where Wanda just goes through and just like fucking mind tricks everyone. And they're all going to shit. And I love that Hawkeye is just like arrow to the head. He's like, I've done that. I'm not doing that again. Fuck off. Yeah. But he takes control. Like Hawkeye's like, there is no moment with any of that where Hawkeye's like, what the fuck are we going to do? The team's down. He's just like, team's down. I'm going to deal with it. And he just gets everyone together and he gets it dealt with and he gets them to a safe house.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Tony's the only other one that doesn't get fucked with, isn't he?
No, he gets fucked with because he sees the vision of... No,
but that was at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah, he's the only one in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he goes to the safe house and obviously his wife's there and the kids. And again, Tony's so funny and all this.
Jumped over the...
Oh, I'm not going in any particular order.
No, I know, but I just mean that scene, obviously, like... Yeah, you finished, because I wanted to talk about the Hulk fight.
Oh, yeah, I was just talking about Hawkeye in particular in this. I love fucking when they do get to his house and Tony's just like, she's an agent. These are smaller agents. There's so much going on with that as well. Like, all of them just looking completely bemused. Like, what the fuck is going... Thor just, like, breaks one of the toys and kicks it under the chair. But, there's so much goes on here with the other characters, but I think the focus on Hawkeye and the way he's talking to his wife and it's like...
They so set him up, like set this movie up for it to be, he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like they are sprinkling that in all the way through the whole.
But I think what they end up.
This is my last project, obviously implying that he's going to retire after this, and he does to a degree. But and then all of like making it all about him, the whole thing with the obviously going to get the kid back at the very end, and really being the one to bring, even though the one that got him fucked up was Pietro Quicksilver, but him really being the catalyst to the switch over, the full-on switch over with the twins as well. They're setting it up.
Yeah, but I think what they end up actually doing is just setting him up to become an incredibly important character for this team going forward.
I agree, but they were doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah, of course they were. Yeah,
they really wanted you to think he was going to die.
Yeah. And I think that's a good move because it works really well, and I think it really pays off for this character going forward. Like everything with the whole him being like, with this because they're my mess, I need to look after him, and him just having this like, I'm not super, but I can deal with them. Like they need although they're super, they're all fucked up, and they need someone to help bring them together. And I'm the one that can do that. And every team has that. Mm-hmm. Every team has someone on the team that's like, my skill is bringing the team together and managing the team and controlling the team. Everyone has that. That's how a team works. If someone that can do everything, or you know what I mean. I think that's really good. And then as that goes on, and you see him really start to do it, especially with Wanda, like the thing where he's talking to Wanda and he gives Wanda a speech, he's like, "Hey, I don't care what the fuck's going on. Like, what's he say? He's like we're on a floating island.
Like the city is floating. We're fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
like
that is true.
What he said is like, I don't care what's going on or what you want to do. He's like, you can either stay in here and I'll send your brother to come and get you. I don't mind. But if you go out there to fight,
you're an Avenger.
You're an Avenger, and it's so good. It's like, that's a fucking great speech. And then he just fucking jumps out and just fucking starts. There's a bit where he does like this fucking cool backward jump, boom, lands behind the car, gets up, and he's just like, oh. It's really good. There's so much of it. And then obviously eventually with him going back to save the kid and Pietro eventually, although they're bickering, there's another bit where they're fighting and like Pietro's being cocky with him. He's like, but you didn't see that coming or whatever and whatnot. And he's just like lifts up his arrow. He's like, you could do it.
This when he grabs Wanda and says, "Keep up, old man," and runs away. He's like, I just came over here and Ultron was sitting on him. Like,
I don't know. It's so funny.
Don't know what happened. Oh God, he's great. No, and then obviously you didn't see that coming. That happens 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
One each, and then the final one where he was a bit more holy than usual.
Yep.
A whole joke. Because bullets.
Yes. Bullets create holes when they penetrate your body. Holy also could mean holy, which is religious.
Jokes are so much better when you explain them. Anyway,
I hate us.
Yeah, I'm the same. We often question why we're not successful. It's because we're a bit shit. Really. I'm trying to think of what to talk about. There was something in the stage of Iron Man's suits being great. We haven't got into the hologram wank yet. This is my hologram. Nanotech wank is what I meant, not hologram wank. It's a very different thing.
I'm sure one day in the future we will have hologram wanks.
I'm sure. This is my favourite of all of Cap's suits.
Yes, Cap suit's cool in this.
This one closely followed by the Endgame one. Mm-hmm. I think this movie is fucking great. The obviously we got at the very beginning of this movie we get the one, and then in the third act we get the pan around.
Oh my god!
The pan around shot in this one is infinitely fucking better than the last one.
It's so good. Like the build to it as well is pretty fucking good. There's some great stuff going on when they're fighting. Oh man, it's so good. There's so much going on. There's great fighting going up to it. This is the film where Cap does the fucking. I love this move where he like throws the shield at someone and like drop kicks him. Fucking. It's so good. Like this.
Yeah. Hannah says I don't like Nat's glowing blue suit. No, I don't really like the glowing blue. I like the glowing blue on the wrist because obviously it's shooting the electric things, but I don't like the blue lining, as it were. I agree.
But yeah, that fucking panning shot behind the thing of them all together, and you get the big fucking music, and there's just shit going everywhere, and it's all it's so good. And then as that ends, and they come out, and then the framing of the shot of Vision, Stark, and Thor all like energy beaming, like the framing of that is really, really fucking cool. Mm-hmm. It's just really fucking cool, and oh my god. And the thing is, I was watching it, right? I was watching it the other night with Camilla, and it was like, this is outstanding. And what's mind-boggling is, I know it gets better.
Yep.
I know what's coming, and I know it gets even fucking better. And I think it's why I'm at the point now where I'm losing interest. Because, like, how can it possibly get better than what we've had with Endgame? How could they possibly ever top that? I know they can't. So this is why I'm starting to not care.
I said the same thing when this came out.
Boy, there is that. But man, there is some fucking great shit.
I know exactly. Like, I'm losing interest because obviously, like, we don't have most of these characters left. Like, gone from any form of. And
quality. The ones we have got left have gone to shit.
Hopefully, becomes better because they seem to be getting rid of Taika.
Wanda's still fucking great.
Wanda's still great. dead. Dead.
Hawkeye is also great, but
Hawkeye,
incapacitated
hopefully
currently.
Yeah, so hopefully we get more Hawkeye.
We know we're getting more Fury,
Yeah, but I mean,
but who gives a shit?
I hope we get more Hulk back as opposed to Smart
Yeah, so
Hulk and all that nonsense, because we've lost him in any form of meaningful capacity, I think. And like none of the characters that they've got announced, I'm like overly interested. It could change. I was the same with Guardians. I didn't give a shit when Guardians was.
Yeah,
announced.
I mean, obviously there are other characters that like Doctor Strange, Ant-Man. Like,
yeah, but it's, like
I care about all these characters still. So
yeah, I like them, but I prefer them in a group.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
settings among all the other characters, because I don't think Ant-Man has never had an amazing solo movie. They've all been good.
I've
They've
always
all been
really liked
enjoyable.
the Ant-Man movies, but I have a strange soft spot for Paul Rudd.
Oh, Paul
So
Rudd's excellent.
I can watch
Paul
some
Rudd
shit if Paul Rudd's in it. So
Paul Rudd has never been
yeah.
the problem. Like,
Oh no, I just mean that I can put up with some shit if Paul Rudd's in it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, I think all the Ant-Man movies are perfectly enjoyable. I don't think they're bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not like the mind-blowing movies of the MCU.
I don't think I'm here for the Ant-Man episode, which is a real shame. Like Ant-Man 1 episode, because I have some fucking stuff I'd love to say about that.
we can always shuffle.
I'll do a reading of things.
We can always shuffle as well.
We'll look at that actually tonight. Make a plan.
Yeah, that'll be next week, next Saturday.
Yeah, which I'm looking for.
Yeah. Which means someone needs to watch Ant-Man.
Rich.
I don't even know. He seems to have disappeared. He told us off and then left. I hope we didn't upset him somehow. I don't know. I've only just seen Extreme Sports message. He put this conversation is getting weird, like Alabama wed your sister type thing. That was probably when we were talking about the whole uncle scenario.
Yes, it was. We're talking about the uncle scenario. Yeah.
But like what they've got coming out, I'm looking forward to Daredevil. I'm hoping Daredevil's good, but I'm also a bit like butt clenched because it's one of the TV shows. Fantastic Four, I'm intrigued by. Blade, I'm intrigued by. I guess I'm interested in seeing what they do with Deadpool now that he's over in the MCU. But again, I'm not like, ah. But other than that,
I'm more excited by the fact that I know we're getting Wolverine in that.
Yes, yeah, I know. But I've always said, like, I don't want the MCU version of Wolverine to be Hugh Jackman.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want to see more Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I do think, though, I understand why they've announced it, but God, I wish they didn't.
Yeah.
Because, if that was a moment, I'd just go to see Deadpool 3.
That's also another problem.
not
Nothing's a
knowing-
fucking surprise anymore.
Yeah.
That's...
That would have been, I think, my best cinema moment ever. Going to see Deadpool 3, not knowing, and then fucking Wolverine turns up. I'd be like, ah!
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, imagine, like... Why can't we have fucking surprises anymore? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, to be fair, by the time we had seen it, IGN would have spoiled it.
Well, yes, it's true.
But,
yeah, you can spoil fucking everything.
Our favourite Wolverine moments from Deadpool 3. What? And also, this is at 12:01 on release day. Fucking bunch of pricks. Yeah. Like, if they turn around and said, we're doing Ghost Rider, I'm like, fucking sick. And there are many other characters they could announce, but I don't care really about the new Captain America. Don't really care about a new Ironheart. We're just getting kind of replacement
Reskins of these characters, yeah.
So it's like, okay, building into She-Hulk and Hulk's son and things like that. Something great. I don't.
And look, yeah, it feels like the few characters I was interested in, they're just not really doing anything with. Like, I'd love to see more of what Melf Moon Knight.
They are doing more. Kevin Feige is
okay,
he
good.
Wants it, that we'll be seeing more of Moon Knight, but I think you have such a huge
Hippopotamus.
Ow! And like the Punisher, like you could do something really fucking cool with the Punisher. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'd be like, well, I kind of wish I could see John Bernthal's Punisher interact with Chris Evans' Captain America, but we're not going to get any of that. I'd like Moon Knight. You could even bring like Moon Knight with Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange and Blade and all of that together to do all of this weird and wonderful things. Fight the more supernatural side of things. Have a movie where they're hunting down like rogue werewolves and vampires and shit. I'd be like, fucking yeah. I'll be all over that shit. Magical demons and shit. Be all over that, but no. Captain America. He's now got to fight a blonde woman. But that's why I'm not particularly like amped up for the MCU anymore.
No, that's fair.
But that could change at any point. But that doesn't change anything about Age of Ultron because this movie was fucking sick.
Yes, it was. I think it was great.
Me too. The fucking Hulkbuster fight.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's
Oh,
really
so
cool.
good. How quickly can we buy this building? Oh god, it's so good. Just the fucking reveal of Veronica.
They make a hint about it earlier on. It's like mentioned in passing.
Yeah. And that's like an Archie comics reference or something, because Betty and Veronica are the thing, and Betty is What's Her Chops, Liv Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just the reveal and the fact that his suit is in the suit, I find really cool as well. And just the size of it. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. The Hulk spitting out a tooth and Tony's like,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just that whole fucking fight, and then just seeing the chaos of it afterwards, and that being a plot point of why Bruce wants to leave. Like, people have seen the real Hulk for the first time, where he hasn't got any form of target. He's just lost his shit, which can happen at any moment, which is why he's always so scared of it. And it's so good. It's so fucking good. So with that, and then Ultron, one of the top tier villains. You have some of the best performances out of these characters and the best show of their relationships. I think Vision, the introduction of Vision, is fucking flawless. And that whole party scene is one of the best scenes. Probably the best scene in terms of just casual interaction in the entire MCU. So good. I think as a if I wanted to look objectively as a movie, the first Avengers is probably better. But I mean, I think like as a sit down watch, just if I wanted to sit down and watch an Avengers movie, I'd pick this one.
So I'd say objectively this one's better. I think emotionally the first one's better because of what it does for bringing everything together. But this one is actually a better movie because, as you say, it's one I'll just sit down and watch a movie. It's
yeah, but
more
that doesn't
likely to be this one.
necessarily mean that the movie's better. It just means it's easy to watch, isn't it?
Which I'd argue means it's better.
No,
I think so.
really.
I think a movie that's easier to watch is better than one that isn't.
It depends what the movie is, though.
Well, this is true. Because I guess The Last of Us isn't easy to watch. Like that kind of thing is an example of
a movie like Prisoners. Is
Yeah,
probably,
yeah, yeah.
It's,
Fair
it's
point,
a very
fair
difficult watch, and you're not just going to sit there and watch that casually. But it's better than this, I'd say, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I see what you're going for.
Obviously, it depends on what you're looking for, but I don't know. They're very on par in terms of objective movie making qualities and standpoints. I would actually not. The only reason I'd knock this one down is because there are clear chunks of this movie that were finished and just cut up and chopped about. The whole Thor investigating the stones thing.
Oh,
There's meant to be a lot more of that, but they just cut some of it out, but not all of it. So it felt really fucking weird, and they should have just cut all of it out.
You did still get to see Chris Hemsworth his top off, though.
I genuinely believe that is the only reason they kept something
Probably.
to get him an excuse to take his top off.
Probably. I'm okay with that.
I mean, I wasn't complaining.
Yeah.
But it is just weird, and then you get that vision. I suppose you couldn't cut it out because you get the Vision.
Yeah, that's how he
Gets his name.
Yeah.
And how Thor knows that he wants to
Yeah.
zap him. Also, that's fucking cool as well. And the fact that he just changes the way he looks based on the fact that Thor was the one that woke him up and kind of made his body look more like Thor. As someone sat watching you seem like you enjoyed this more than you enjoyed the Avengers. For a more effusive. I don't know what that means.
No, but it's a good word. Let me Google it.
Yeah, I do enjoy this one more.
Showing or expressing gratitude, pleasure, or approval in an unrestrained or heartfelt manner.
Very nice.
Or it could mean an igneous rock poured out when molten and later solidified.
I don't think that's the context in which Hannah
No, neither do I. Yeah, I'm not convinced that makes sense.
The first one.
Yeah.
No, I definitely enjoyed this movie more, and that's what I was saying. But in terms of like objective movie making quality, I think the first one probably ekes it out a little bit, mainly because of just the way that the whole stuff was cut out in the middle, but also just the technical navigation of being the first time that you're bringing all of these characters together, and you've got to make it make sense. This movie has to have its own tone, but all of these characters' tones seem to fit in. And while obviously you had to do that with this movie as well, they'd already done it. Like it wasn't this technical feat, which is why I thought another one of the reasons I think a lot of people kind of slept on this movie and didn't really give it its just desserts.
Have you brought dessert as well?
When this movie came out, like critically and stuff, because obviously there wasn't this big, this is the first time this has ever happened thing, and I feel like people mistake that for quality.
Yes.
A lot of the time.
Yes, a lot of the time that happens.
Yeah, and that's just obviously objectively not true. Look at Infinity War, which is easily better than both of these. And that was the third time they'd done it. So, well, arguably fucking fourth or fifth by the time we actually get there.
So, with that in mind, what would you score it?
An 8. It's not a 9. I don't think it's a 9.
Okay, tell me why you don't think it's a 9.
Just because there are some...
I'm going to remind myself what we scored the first Avengers.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Surely an 8. Or no, we might have
scored
gone
it a 9.
We might have gone 9.
Yeah. We scored it a 9.
Do I think it's a 9?
Dear Big Ball Bag. What's happening here? I remember.
We were signing things. Dear Big Ball 69.
Yeah.
If we gave the last one a 9, I'll have to give this one a 9. Because I think it's at least on par. I do think it's at least
9
on
is
par.
where I was feeling anyway.
Fair.
Because I think it is real fucking good.
Yeah, I guess... Yeah, I'd say that you could... because we don't have a 100-point scale, we only have a 10-point scale, then I'd have to go with a 9. Otherwise, I'd actually go a little bit lower.
An 8.9.
Above an 8.5, yeah, but not a 9 is probably where I'd go. But I'll round up, because it'll be the closest whole number.
So in which case we're scoring this a 9 out of 10. Which, of course, leads us to the ranking. Where does it go? Where would you put it? So right now, the ranking so far, in first place is Captain America, Winter Soldier. In second place, Avengers. Third place, Iron Man 3. Fourth place, Guardians of the Galaxy. Fifth place, Iron Man. In number 6, we have Thor. Number 7, Iron Man 2. Number 8, Captain America. And then right down at the bottom, number 29, we have Hulk. And then below that, at number 30, is Thor 2, The Dark World.
This list isn't long enough, I realise.
Yeah, because there's now another film.
And by the time we get there, there'll be another one.
Yeah. We'll adjust it later.
Yeah. So it should be 32. But,
I know what my gut feeling is, but it's
bold.
What?
It's bold.
What's bold?
What I'm assuming your gut feeling is.
Oh.
But I don't know that I disagree.
I don't know if mine's bold, so I think we might be thinking different things.
Oh. What were you going to say?
I'm thinking 3.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I was thinking, or an argument can be made for 2. I wouldn't put either of these films above Winter Soldier, though.
Well, no, we obviously wouldn't put the first one above Winter Soldier because we didn't.
Well, yes. Okay, fine. I wouldn't put this above Winter Soldier either.
No, that would I. I don't think anything's going to overtake Winter Soldier for a while.
No, and I think I know what one it's going to be.
Yeah. Here you are.
No, I think another one will overtake before that, maybe. No. Yeah.
I think Winter Soldier's better.
We'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we will find out. It's either 2 or 3. It's either 2 or 3.
Hannah prefers this to Winter Soldier.
Yeah, well, good thing you don't count in the ranking. Not that I get a vote.
You get a vote when we can't decide.
Yes, when we're it's either 2 or 3. Isn't it? Given everything we've said, you would think 2 immediately, wouldn't you?
I can see an argument for 2. If you were to say 2, I wouldn't entirely disagree.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
Like,
just-
are we letting the whole thing that we were just talking about, nostalgia of it being the first time it happened,
To a degree, yes.
getting in the way? Yeah.
Yes. No, definitely. I'm definitely thinking that from...
Yeah. Let's go 3. Or maybe we should go 2 so that maybe someone can find it and shout at us. And then that's viewership.
That sounds like a better idea. I'm agreeing with it. I'm agreeing with it. This is going in second place.
Just so we can potentially
Above-
fuck someone off.
The first Avengers. This makes the new order. Number 1, Captain America Winter Soldier. In second place is then Avengers Age of Ultron, followed by Avengers 1 in third. I'm not going to read the whole list again.
This is fair.
Well, there you go. Phew. This is not going quite how I expected it to, I have to say, this list.
I largely agree.
Yeah.
Some of it is going about as I expected.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything else other than this.
The top end.
Yeah. Actually, no. The only thing that surprised me so far is I lied. I'm going to take that all back. Ultron's the only one that surprised me so far. Oh, no. Thor Dark World being
below Hulk has surprised me.
It surprised me. So, yeah, that too. But otherwise, everything else has been pretty solid. But am I still at least accurate?
Oh, it's in here something I forgot. Yeah, you wrote down a prediction.
What does any of this mean? Oh, that's bottom 10.
Oh, yeah, and then
this
that's
is
top 10.
Top 10. Ultron's not on
No,
there.
you even got Ultron on there.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's a fucking turn up for the books.
Jesus. So I didn't even think that Age of Ultron would make the top 10. And it's at number 2. Obviously, it's not going to stay at number 2 because that'll be above it.
Yeah.
That'll be above it.
Yeah.
That'll be above it.
Well, that one already is above it.
No, I'm pointing that
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
That will probably be above it, potentially, maybe. That will probably be above it, potentially, maybe. But it would definitely be in the top 10 still, I'm pretty sure. I didn't write it for the bottom 10 because that would be insanity. I think our bottom 10 is accurate.
Other than these two have swapped. But otherwise, yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, this isn't in any particular order, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah,
Because
fair
I don't
enough.
think
No, yeah, I don't
it's
think
going to be
that's-
4th.
Yeah, fair.
I'm very surprised by that, actually.
Well, there you go.
This has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast. Thank you very much for joining. Coming up on the channel. What day are we?
Saturday.
So Thursday, we will be back for episode 6 of The Last of Us. Are you here for that?
Yeah, I'm here for that.
You're here for that. Excellent. Saturday, we'll be back once again with Admit One.
I won't be here for that.
You won't be here for that, to talk about Ant-Man.
You'll get
So
a reading the
hopefully-
things.
We'll get a reading the things. Hopefully, Rich will be able to do that. Otherwise, we'll just have to delay it and then stop for like 3 weeks. But that shall be discussed. Lovely. Lovely. And of course, next Friday as well, there'll be a gaming stream with Father himself.
I'm assuming more Hogwarts Legacy. That seems to be what
Yeah,
he's...
it seems to be the one at the moment, which is good. It's good. Get some Hogwarts Legacy on the channel because it's a great game, banging game. All wizards and shit. All wizards and shit. Why are you stopping for 3 minutes?
No, we're not.
You clearly picked out like 3 words of the entire sentence there. I said, hopefully Rich can join us to do Ant-Man, otherwise we'll just have to stop for 3 weeks.
Because I'm not here for a few weeks. I mean, it's only 2 weeks.
There's 3 Saturdays though, didn't you say?
No, it's only 2.
Oh. I see.
There was a thing I was talking about where I was asked to do something on a third Saturday and said no because then there'd be 3 Saturdays in a row, which I
2
wasn't
weeks
going to
then.
do.
2 weeks. Change what I said to 2 weeks. But we shouldn't have to do that because hopefully Rich can join. We shall inquire. But anyway, thank you very much for joining. And until next time, stop playing Hide the Zucchini.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
You can end it now.